Shalom, shalom, it's the brother Kadash. I'm going to start off by giving our praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders. Peace, blessings, and honors to all the brothers in this truth. The title of this lesson is going to be Esau's not shit. As you can see from your screen, that he's completely not shit at all. You know, his time is coming, and we're going to rejoice in those times that's coming. Now on your screen, you see it says churches control the mother. You know, and now it's more entertainment, but back in the day, the churches was like the big entertainment. Before you had the internet and stuff like that, where the entertainers, where you could just go and see everything about an entertainer, anything they're doing at any time. You could go to their Instagram and see how they're living. It was really the churches, you know, because what did Jake used to do? They used to go to church, and it was just like the BET Awards, you know. They have honors, awards, and they dance and jump around, just like how the BET Awards look pretty much. That's how the churches were. And Esau uses this to control really the woman. But back in the day in slavery, what they would do is they would set the woman up over the man. And that way they could control the whole nation by controlling the woman that was controlling the man. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing. It goes back to Adam and Eve. You know, the serpent was able to deceive Eve, and because of that, he was able to get to Adam. You know, so it's just like in slavery when they used to set the woman up as being a house slave, but they give the house slave certain privileges over the field slave, and the house slave will have some power over the field slave, so they would be able to control majority of the field slaves by the house slaves. And the house slaves would mostly be the woman, you know, and they would be married and stuff like that. But Esau still commit adultery and have his way with them and send them back home or split their family up just so he can have his way with them. See, Esau's not shit, man. And then it says the schools to control the children, you know, and a lot of brothers that wake up in the truth, you know, they start to lean towards the direction of homeschooling if they can, you know. Not all brothers do it. Not all brothers can. You know, anything can happen. But, you know, a lot of brothers don't even have control of their children that much. And that's another way that Esau controls our people, you know, by setting our woman up over our man, which we just talked about that. But they give the woman power over the children, too. And then what do the women do? They turn around and they use the children to control the man. You see what I'm saying? And then it says prisons to control the father. And what happens if you don't pay your child support? You could be threatened with going to prison. Or if it gets hard enough, you know, if you make a man desperate enough, you know, he's going to go out there and do desperate things, which is probably going to end him up in prison, you know. And then Esau sets a trap anyways for you, so you could end up in prison. He puts the drugs in the community. He puts the liquor in the community, the guns in the community, right? Because don't none of us own no ports and boats where we're shipping in guns and drugs. So how are we getting it into the States? Esau is bringing it into the States. And he put these things in the community, and he sits back like a trap waiting for you because he knows you're desperate. And you know Jake just want to make some quick money. He wants a quick come up. So he sits back like a trap, wait till you fall for the trap. And then when he gets you under the trap, he sets the trap on you, and then he puts you in prison where he can get free labor. So here you is, you done hustled, you done ran up a little money, right? You done went to jail, came back out, ran up a little bit of money. And what's the first thing Esau tells you when you're leaving jail? He say, you're going to be back. Why? Because he understands the trap. So you run up a little money, Esau catches you. He take all the money that you worked hard for. He take it from you. He seizes it, right? All the dope, all the money, the guns, whatever. He gives you these crazy charges. By the way, that's very unfair, and especially when you compare it to the Edomites that get in the similar cases and the charges they get, right? Where they probably get off, you know, off scot-free. We've seen that in this last little case that was just going on, right? Then now you got to pay 10, 15K to bond out. Then you got to pay 10K for your lawyer, because if you don't get a lawyer, then you're going to get a public defender. But the public defender is best friends or family members with the prosecutor and the judge. They sit up there in the same county building and deal with each other all year long for years and years, so they best friends. And then the public defender ain't going to fight for you. He going to tell your ass to take whatever deal they give you, even though he could possibly get you a better deal. Because it's all a setup, because everybody's going to get paid and eat off you, just off you making that mistake. So then Esau's able to put you back into slavery, which is jail, free slave labor. See, so it's all a trap, man. And Esau's not shit for you. It tells you that in Psalms. This is Psalms chapter 10, verse 1. It says, "Why standest thou afar, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in the time of trouble? The wicked in his pride does persecute the poor." These are some of the ways that Esau, which is the wicked, is persecuting us. It says, "Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined," and that's including the mark of the beast, which is the micro implant chip, which he's going to use that to oppress the righteous, the elect. He's going to use that to oppress us even more, and then the 2/3 is just going to fall for it. It says, "For the wicked boasts of his heart's desire, and blesses the covetousness, who the Lord abhorreth. The wicked through the pride of his countenance would not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts." He ain't thinking about the Lord, man, because he think he is the Lord, but he really ain't shit. It says his ways are always grievous, very grievous. We just talking about that. His judgments are far above all of his sight. For all his enemies he puffed up at them. We just talked about some of the numbers that he is giving Jake. Some of the prison years and sentencing that he's given Jake, especially when they came with the whole war on crime, which really it should have been named War on Blacks. It says, "He has said in his heart, I should not be moved, for I should never be in adversity." Because they think that America is going to be around forever. They look at America, which is Mystery Babylon, the great harlot. They look at it as being, the best place on earth, and it's always going to be that way, and no other nation could, have them in adversity, But the Lord is going to put their asses in adversity. It says his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud, They took the Bible, took things out of it, spent it, and used it against our people with deceit, Told you that the Lord's name was Jesus and he was a white man and you supposed to pray to that image, That was another thing that was in the churches. While they was going to church, they wasn't following the true Lord, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. They was following a white Jesus, praying to a white Jesus, causing their kids in the next generations to pray to a white Jesus. And you still see it today, And Esau, and now a lot of the Israelites today, they like to say, look, I don't believe in the Bible. Because they think Esau wrote it because Esau used it against us. But the problem with that is this is the number one selling book, the number one book of all time, and the number one mysterious book of all time. So us as a people, it puts us at a very great disadvantage to not care about this book or know about the number one book of all time. Why wouldn't you want to study it? You see how big of a disadvantage that puts us? And Esau likes that. He wants us to think like, oh, I don't believe in the Bible. He wants us to think that we're fucking Egyptians and Kemet and not think about the Bible. Because the Bible got the truth in it. Because really, the Bible belongs to us. It tells you in Romans chapter 3, and to them was given the oracles of God, the Jews. So it's for us to understand this, It says, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, and the secret places does he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. So back then it was the slave villages. He literally sat in there and set traps for them, or wait for one to try to run off, and the whole time Esau setting a trap. And it may seem like, look, I could get away right now. I could run off into the wilderness. But the whole time Esau got all type of fucking traps set up out there. But now it's just the ghettos. And what's some of the ways he's setting traps? By putting drugs in the hood, guns in the hood, starting gang wars of some shit Esau did. It says he lieth and wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth and wait to catch the poor. He does catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. It's all a trap, man. It's all a trap. And because of that, Esau got something coming for him. This is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 8. It says, "Should not in that day, say the Lord, even destroy the wise man out of Edom, the understanding out of the mount of Esau, and the mighty man." What's some of the mighty men? They military, they national guard, they policemen that they setting these traps with. Otima should be dismayed, to the end that everyone out the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. So Esau has a tremendous debt, and the debt that he's going to have to pay is every single one of him being cut off by slaughter. You see what I'm saying? And the Lord is going to be the one that's going to do this, but he's going to also make his people be a part of it. It tells you that right here. Verse 10, it says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame should cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. And we just read about some of that violence in Psalms chapter 10, the traps they set for us, the slavery, the control, you know. Now, if you jump to verse 18, it says, in the house of Jacob should be a fire, in the house of Joseph a flame. So the Lord going to actually use his people too. It tells you that in Daniel chapter 7. It says the saints of the Most High should take the kingdom. We should take it. It says, and they should kindle in, it says, in the house of Esau for stumble, and they should kindle in them and devour them, and there should not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. You know, you have to have fear in the Lord, so you really got to feel that when it says the Lord has spoken it, your eyebrows should kind of raise a little bit. You see what I'm saying? So it means the Lord going to see to it and make sure that this happens. You know, jumping back to, what was that? Psalm chapter 2, it tells you, it's saying the same thing. It all connects. This is Psalms 2, verse 1. It says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? What's some of the vain things? That they going to defeat the Lord in the heavens. Revelation chapter 12, 2nd Esdras chapter 13, Revelation chapter 19, starting at verse 19. Those are very vain things, man. That they going to keep the Israelites in slavery forever. That's a very vain thing, man. That he's going to be in the power seat forever. You know, it says the kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord, but not just against the Lord, and against his anointed, his people. You see what I'm saying? And it tells you about that counsel that they set themselves and that they came together. It tells you about that in Psalms chapter 83. That crafty counsel that they came in order to cut us off from being a people, which they did. And what they did when they cut us off is they stole our inheritance. They trying to steal our heritage, but what they did is they stole our image. Now they calling themselves the Jews today. You see what I'm saying? And they took that crafty counsel, and the first person that's on that list is Esau. But he ain't shit though. He think that he's the Lord, but he ain't shit. You see what I'm saying? It tells you that in 2 Thessalonians chapter 3 too. You know, it says, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. It says, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. Now, how's the Lord going to have them in derision? You read about it in Obadiah chapter 1. He's going to cut them off. And he's going to cause Jake to rise up. The Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel to rise up. It says, then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure. Yet I've set my king upon my holy hill of Zion, which is the Israelites. And for everybody, he said it's king amongst the Israelites, right? But we're starting to see these times right now. We're starting to see Esau go down. Sometimes it may feel like it's lagging, you know, because ain't nothing super dramatic happen where it's just life changing. But if you take a step back and you understand that prophecy has to be fulfilled according to the time, and if you take a bigger scope of, you know, the full picture, a lot of things have been happening this life changing. You know, I know a couple people that have lost jobs for not getting a job. You know, that's life changing, you know, and that's serious, you know. But it's going to come down, and it's going to get worse and worse the closer and closer we get to the Lord coming back. It tells you that in I believe that 2nd Esdras chapter 16, like a woman having contractions. It gets worse and worse the closer it gets to the baby being born. And it's the same thing with the plagues that's coming on Esau. They're going to get worse and worse until the Lord comes back, until the end comes. You know what I mean? Now, if you jump to last precept real quick, let me see if I can find it. This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 21. It says, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. So yeah, they on high right now. And maybe they are rejoicing and being glad, and they think, okay, they got it figured out. Everybody going to get the jab. Everybody get to go back out to the bars, the clubs, and continue to work. I'm seeing a lot of people fold too, and it's sad, man. It's nothing you could do about it. You just got to sit back and watch and have faith and pray that you don't fold. But I'm seeing a lot of people that was holding out like uploading videos like, okay, I finally went and got the jab. I'm seeing a lot of people fold, man. You know, especially around the holiday times, a lot of people gonna fold because they gonna want to be able to celebrate the holidays the way they want to and get back in that spirit. You see what I'm saying? It says, that dwelleth in the land of Oz, the cup also shall pass through into thee. What cup? It tells you about that in Jeremiah chapter 49, starting at verse 12. It says, thou shalt be drunken. Cup of destruction, man. It says, and shall make thyself naked. It says, the punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, you know, O daughter Zion, the Israelites. Our iniquity, the punishment of our iniquity is about accomplished, you know, because we went through all these things, the things that you see on your screen, you know, and it says, I will no more carry thee into captivity. He will visit thy iniquity, O daughter Edom. He would discover thy sins. Why? Because it tells you in Deuteronomy 30 that the Lord gonna take the curses off us, and he gonna put the curses on the other nations. And the number one that's on that list is Esau. You could read about that in Isaiah 63 of what he gonna do with Esau. But if you go back to Isaiah 34, then it tells you that the Edomites are the people of his curse, and he's coming back to get vengeance on them and get redemption for the Israelites. That's what this really is about. The other nations are going to get punished too, but really the two major players on the scene is Jacob and Esau. You know, Jacob are the good guys, Esau's the bad guys. But in this world, Jacob is considered the bad guys and Esau's considered the good guys. It tells you in Isaiah chapter 5 that woe to them that call good evil and evil good. That's what Esau did. He switched everything up. So really we're like the super villains in Esau's kingdom. But in reality, in the bigger scheme of the things, in the Lord's eyes, we're the superheroes. And Esau's the villain. But he's just switching it all up. But remember, I believe that 2 Thessalonians 3, it says that man of sin is going to be revealed. So something's going to happen where the Lord's going to reveal Esau. And you already see it happening right now. You know, because before the Lord always destroys a kingdom, what do? He sends his prophets out. That's the number one sign that the Lord is about to return. It's his prophets waking up. It tells you that in Matthew chapter 24. It says, then this gospel shall be preached throughout the four corners of earth. Then the end should come. And who's going to preach it? Who's going to teach it? His prophets. You see what I'm saying? So that's the number one example. That's the number one indicator that the Lord is about to come back. It's his prophets, you know. And we're out there prophesying against Esau, thus say the Bible, which is from the Lord, you know, and then the Lord gonna come back and fulfill those prophecies. And Esau's not shit, and he's gonna be proven that he's not shit. So with that, I'm gonna say salvation to the elect. Shalom.